guys, so today's actually a very special day for me. I was actually girl bossing so hard that I almost forgot that today is my girl boss anniversary, aka the day I started working for myself full time. It's been exactly 1 year since I left my full-time corporate job to finally pursue my passion head on and just do me. And it has been the absolute richest year of my life, learning every possible lesson there is out there, but I absolutely wouldn't trade it for the world. I found a quote out there the other day that was like, entrepreneurs are the only ones crazy enough to work 80 to 100 hours a week on something they love versus 40 hours a week doing something they hate. And dear God, that literally sums up my life. I've definitely put in a lot of work, but all those like cliche quotes about like, oh, when you like do what you love, you'll never feel like you're working a day in your life. And I mean, that's just so true. I literally get to do what I love in my passion for health and fitness, but also with what I know I'm really good at and what I love doing through social media marketing. And if it wasn't for all my past experience in the startup world, in the tech world, in the advertising world, in the corporate world, I wouldn't have been at this point where I'm like, yes, I'm ready to go. If you guys want to actually hear about all the jobs it took me to kind of get to this established point, definitely leave me a comment below and I can make that separate video for you. I actually have a reference to how every job that you have is like basically like a boyfriend that comes into your life. It's actually a really great analogy, so comment below if you want to see that analogy. But I'll take you guys through just my top 8 takeaways from this year and what I learned, and what anyone can kind of apply to their passion journey and following their passion and starting their own business. First lesson I learned: the most growing happens when you are in pain. I'm literally the definition of use pain to empower you. One lesson I definitely learned about myself is I am very, very resilient. I take a good, like, solid time to cry and be upset, yell, rant, whatever it is, to myself or to my closest friends, and then I am a problem solver. And it's because I've been able to really use health and fitness to reframe my mind and really understand that it's just like when you're tearing apart your muscles when you're working out, right? Like, the recovery process comes the next day. When you're breaking your muscles apart, that's when you're growing. So I've learned to truly appreciate those moments when I'm really upset about something, because honestly, my best ideas have come from that mentality. Number 2, when you need money, you will always find a way to get it. I think a lot of people get concerned about jumping right into the entrepreneur life just because they're like, how am I gonna pay my rent? I've got bills, like, I've got a family. Guess what? If you want something really bad, you want your freedom really bad, you really want to be happy in life, you will always find a way. And even better, we are a generation of very lazy people now, so we've developed numerous ways to kind of create a supplemental income that still aligns with our goals. When I first left my job, I went into a brand ambassador position where I was literally doing what I loved, which was gym hopping, and then I took that with a brand that I loved and took those two together and actually got paid to go gym hop. But I also had the option of Ubering, lifting, renting out my house, wags if you like dogs. Like, I set myself up to do Uber and Lyft if I needed to, but I never came down to it because of the power of connections, which is the next one. Don't look at people as a value proposition. So I'm all about collaborations and truly valuing the people in my life, but I never go into those relationships with them knowing that I'm going to use them for something. And I think that's why so many people trust me in business, because they know I'm not here to say like, hey, oh wow, you work for Nike, oh, you work for Lululemon, like, I gotta keep that at the back of my mind and make sure every conversation I can plug that in. Like, that doesn't work. People see right through that. I know when people are using me, and those are people I shut out automatically, because I have that same respect for all the people that are super successful in my life. I'm proud of what they've built, and I'm not about abusing those relationships. But what I've learned is when you create those meaningful connections and relationships where you see it more as like, hey, what can I do for you? That mentality and like a real friendship, that's when people start thinking about you when opportunities come up. And honestly, that's how my business has grown, because of referrals and people genuinely trusting me as a person. That's why people are always like, why do you offer so much free information? Well, yeah, because I know that value is creating a customer lifetime value that's way beyond just that one free fact. And that strategy has worked so well for me. So don't ever look at someone and say, what can I get out of them? Number 4, listen more than you speak. I wish I had talked myself through this before, because it would have saved me a lot of time on delivering products and services that weren't actually needed. So my biggest tip for you is poll your audience, find out if there's an actual need for this product or service that you want to develop, because if there's a demand in a market, then you will definitely see success. You can always create a market too, because that's what I did within the fitness industry and social media space. I saw that gap and then I delivered on that. But you know, I failed when it came to my app. I didn't realize people weren't looking at me for that. They were actually there. I realized my market was actually influencers, which allowed me to drive home that message and what I was ultimately able to do. So you've got to fail too, right? I mean, this goes back to the failing and learning from those pain points. But you just have to ask people and then deliver on that. And that's how content generation works. And that's how you solve a problem and have a real solution for people. Kind of along the lines of that, you also have to really listen to your team, because your team is going to know what problems are going on within the company. And I know my team has been so strong and so communicative with me about what resources they need, what we could do better, and that's ultimately helped our entire business. And I'm very thankful to have created that strong team and relationship with them. With that trust comes number 5, which is learn to say no. As a very nice person, giving person, I'm a type B personality too, so I just love making people happy. I found myself saying yes to a lot of things that ended up actually diminishing the value I was offering, and way overloaded me, and honestly kind of ended up making me look bad because I wasn't following through. So along with that is undercommit and over deliver. I always forget that phrase, but that goes along with 5 and 6. You just have to learn to say no to the wrong opportunities, even if it's like a little thing you could take. Say yes to those things that are like a hell yes, I want this, this is gonna help me, this is gonna help others, this is gonna help my overall mission. Under promise and over deliver. I think it's just so much better to really concentrate on what you're really good at, and then if you offer other things on top of that, surprise your client, surprise your audience, because that's so much more important than letting people down. And that's really just better for you when you hone in on that one thing you're really good at. But along with that, you have to take a break. I am learning this every single day, where I have to literally force myself to say, hey, you need to stop working. I do this by painting my nails. I just started watching Netflix. I started traveling a lot more. I started doing 2 days at the gym, just because I knew I needed to step away from my business to be more productive. The thing with an entrepreneur is your brain never really stops working. You're always kind of working, just because you're so driven by passion. Everything you do, you see your work in. But that's okay, because when you see it in other areas of your life, that's what sparks that creativity, and that's what is going to end up leading to bigger and better results. But you gotta invest that time in yourself. Things that I started doing, I started watching Netflix. This is the reason I started this whole fitness journey, but it is also something that's helped me with my entrepreneur journey. And it was just a matter of watching shows that were kind of relevant to what I was doing, but still like kind of time away. I was watching Silicon Valley, which is like a tech entrepreneur show, and it's comedy, so kind of lighthearted. I watch Mad Men. It is the advertising industry, so I get a lot of kind of ideas about like business development and just like how that culture works kind of funny, but it's things that are somewhat relevant, but still a break for your mind. And obviously vacations for me, that's when I'm exposed to the most culture and the best ideas. Like, hands down, my best business ideas definitely came from pain and from traveling. And of course, all the connections I made during that time. And the last thing I learned is commit. When I wrote down what my actual business structure was, I was doing 10 million things, and I am that person that's just always, once again, a type B personality. I want to please everyone. I want to make things really, really fun for others and for myself. But I learned that when I focus all my energy onto wow, that was weird. When I focus my energy onto one problem to solve, then I offer such a bigger solution to all of those little things. And you know, I'm not afraid now to pivot my brand whenever I want to. I do it more strategically now instead of just saying, hey, I'm gonna do this now. But I commit to it fully and make sure I set up a strategy. So some of the biggest tips I can give you from this is take these tips and implement them, but at the end of the day, the best thing I can recommend you do, follow a strategy and commit to it 100%. It's just like a training program, right? Like, the best results you'll see is when you have a workout plan laid out for you and you know the goal of the workout plan or training plan is to lose fat, gain muscle. Commit to solving one problem, commit to one team, people that you truly trust, and commit to you. Because ultimately this is for you and truly following your passion. So I hope that helped you guys. I have a really busy day actually, so I need to go girl boss on. If you guys like this, I will be doing a lot more on the fitness and the entrepreneur background on all of this, and then on my SaaS Brands page, you're gonna see more of the social media marketing tips. So stay tuned, follow SaaS Brands here, and subscribe to this channel so you can stay a part of this journey. And I appreciate your support, guys, for the past like 2 years of being active with you guys. You guys are the reason that I have this opportunity, so thank you so much.